Can you hear me? Let me know when everything looks and sounds good on your side.
It looks good.
Perfect. All righty. Well, it's awesome to hear your voice and meet with you again because it's been a little bit. I'm curious because a lot of the country has like crazy winter storms happening right now. Are you staying safe and warm? Everything good where you're at?
We're in Southern California,
You're
so
good. Awesome. I love it.
yeah,
Yeah, I've had a
the
lot of
weather is
people this week who've
amazing.
had like internet and power issues and like 20 inches of snow. So it's a lot of the country this week has been struggling with that. But yeah, you're good to
I've
go.
heard.
So that's awesome
Yeah.
to hear. Great. So tell me, what have you maybe noticed in your speaking lately that's been going well? And then what have you noticed that you feel like you're like, this could use some improvement?
Generally, awareness is a 24/7 thing now. Okay, so
That's
as in
awesome.
I know every time I make a mistake, I do put like when I want to, I do put enough effort into making sure that it's clear and concise. But
Excellent.
where I think I could do better is the amount that I open my mouth, I can definitely tell is lacking. And I think it's
Mm.
one of the contributors as to why it doesn't sound perfect.
Ah, yeah.
And
Yeah, so
then,
so it's kind of your instinct to keep your mouth more closed.
exactly.
Hmm.
And then, secondly, I do struggle. I think I might have overcompensated for the T's
Oh, okay.
where I'm using the crisp T's in the middle
Ah,
when I
yeah.
probably don't need to. Like for
Making it more
example, identify,
conversational.
right?
Yeah.
Identify as opposed to identify.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So just a little too much. So sometimes we do that when we're practicing and improving. We'll go a little bit too far and then we'll just rein it in a little bit. So maybe we started over here, the goal is here, we'll kind of overshoot and then we just pull it back a little bit and we land in that sweet spot. But yeah, for more of that conversational sound, you can think a little more dentalized T. In Europe, they actually do a lot of dentalized T's where it's almost like a combination of a D with a T. In America, I would say in very casual settings, sometimes they'll convert the T entirely to a D sound, like better will turn into better. Um, but I think a good kind of middle ground is doing the dentalized T's where it's not as crisp and it's sort of like an in between, like better, 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 better. And like you can play with like better, 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 and like play with it and kind of find that in between. Da, 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 da. It's like a D that's a little more crisp, is what I would call it. Da, 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 da. Better, better. And it has a clarity to it. Um, where it's not like just a I feel better now, where it's like it just like glossing over it and it's kind of muffled. It keeps the clarity without being that crisp, better kind of sound, where it maybe sounds
Perfect.
like you're performing on stage. So,
And the
so
third thing,
yeah.
Vandy, is the flow is lost. So
Ah,
think about it as, I mean, you can probably hear it now where there's more phrases than sentences.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So we want a little bit more of that connected phrasing where it's here's a smooth connected thought, here's another smooth connected thought, and where it so you're saying it's like these shorter, choppier phrases rather than here's a longer sentence.
Right. And think about the mechanics behind it. What's happening
Yeah.
is I'm thinking through what I want to say. But then as I'm saying it, I'm first focusing on making sure that the words are coming out properly. And then I
Oh,
stop,
right.
think about the next set of words, and then making sure they come out. So it's almost like there's this disconnect, or there's this
Mm,
lag between, okay, I know what I want to say, but now I got to focus on saying it right. So I have to stop in the middle and
right.
just tell you the next set of words after it's been
Hmm.
processed.
Right. So you know the phrases that you want to say, but you're so focused on articulating clearly that we lose the flow and the connected thought process.
Partly because when I say the first phrase, before I go into the second phrase, I'm quickly running over the second phrase in my mouth, making sure
Mm,
that the V's or the T's are sort of thought through. And then I
yes.
say the next phrase. And so essentially what happens is it's more short sentences and
Sure.
way too many of them in order to get an idea across.
That makes sense. Hmm. Yes. So hopefully, with the work that you've put in, a lot of these things are going to become more of a habit where you don't have to think about the individual letters as much. Early on, we did focus on this particular sound, that particular sound, these pairings of sounds. Now you're getting to the point where you're wanting it all to fit together and be a more cohesive unit, which I think is a great goal, a great option, and a good new focus to have. Getting to where you can trust yourself and trust that the work you've put in is going to show just takes a little bit of practice, I would say.
Got it.
But I definitely do hear progress. So I don't know that you always necessarily need to focus as hard at this point on those individual sounds.
Okay.
So let's go ahead
Perfect.
and focus more on the phrasing today. I love that you've got this awareness and that's consistent. So today, let's focus on opening the mouth more. Let's focus on sounds that are more open. There are sounds that are more closed, but there are also sounds that are more open. Let's focus more on the flow. And another thing that contributes to the choppiness is actually specific consonants will briefly stop the airflow. So if you are exaggerating that sound, it might actually abruptly cut off the airflow. So what I would suggest is keep that breath energy going. And what we do is we just sort of bop up, and you just think of having a really short, crisp, clean consonant there. We don't linger on it. We don't make too much of it. We try to kind of gloss over it so that it doesn't abruptly stop the sound. So, consonants, some examples of ones that we can energize through would be the M or the S or the V. You can energize the air through those, it continues the phrase. Whereas certain consonants will abruptly stop the airflow temporarily, like a B, B, or a T, for instance, T, T. And those will make it feel more choppy. So when you have a P, for instance, popped, that would have three different times the P and the D. If I said popped corn, if I make too much of those sounds, it's going to sound very choppy. So instead, we kind of soften those and gloss over, and we energize more through the vowels. Popped corn. And the K is another example, k, k, that briefly will stop the airflow. And so I'm going to soften those a little bit. I'm going to focus on continuing the airflow and just popping right out the other side of that consonant and then continuing the breath energy through the vowel. So I would love us to start having an awareness of that as well, that we're trying to soften those consonants that would create a more choppy line. So I think that this actually has been a really good conversation because it's helping us to have more insight into where we need to go from here. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Really good self-awareness. Excellent. All right, so let's start with focusing on the opening of the mouth. Um, Let me think through some sounds that we want to play with here. Um, and then we'll do some phrases as well that incorporate the opening of the mouth. So let's just start with some big chewy motions just to kind of wake up those muscles. So we're just gonna just kind of exaggerate this chewing thing. Think of like a really big piece of bubble gum.
Oh.
And we're really exaggerating this. So kind of wiggle it around and it's going to help just kind of loosen all of that up. Now I want you to let the jaw fall open like you're surprised. And we're going to think about not unhinging the jaw, just letting it release down. You're going to keep the lips relaxed and that tongue just resting in the mouth. Let the gravity do the work. We're not pushing it open. We're just going to let it hang. And then you can come back to neutral and then practice that feeling of surprise again. Letting it drop open. Feel that. And then we'll come back to neutral. And we're going to do that 5 times. So a surprised breath and feel that open mouth feeling. We're going to do that 2 more times. And just each time you do it, hold for a few seconds, come back to neutral, and we're going to do that once more. Just practicing opening that up. Try to think about keeping all of these muscles in this mouth area very relaxed. The lips, the tongue, and even this jaw. We're just releasing it down. Let's try now a sigh feeling with a yawn. So we're going to try first breathing into a yawn, and then we'll sigh through on an ah. So you want to feel space
Oh.
in the back of the mouth with these molars. The fascial pillars here, these stretchy bands that connect the mouth with the throat. Think about feeling a stretching vertically with those. You also might feel like a feeling of a spacer in your top teeth where it's a widening in the top teeth as well. So breathing into an ah shape with a yawn feeling.
Ah.
Sighing on that ah. Oh. And you want to try this about 5 times as well. Just getting that feeling of opening up inside the mouth as well.
Ah.
Excellent. Beautiful. Very good.
Ah.
Yes. Okay. So let's try now on just some vowels, single vowels. The vowels tend to be a little bit more open. The palate's more open. So the roof of the mouth is lifting. The ah is the most open vowel. So let's try that ah. Ah.
Ah.
Yes. So for every vowel, keep the jaw dropped and let the lips do the shaping. Now let's try an A. A.
A.
Excellent. Now let's try an E. This is a little bit more closed of a vowel, but try to feel that lift in the palate. E.
E.
Excellent. And then an O. O.
O.
Excellent. And an oo, you'll feel is more open in the back, but the lips are going to be more narrow. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the jaw is actually pretty dropped open in the back there and the palate's lifted, but the lips are going to be more narrow. So just having an awareness there. Let's do some slides of the vowels. So, like a diphthong where we're changing the vowel. So, let's try open to narrow slides. Ah to E. I.
I.
Mm-hmm. Try to keep the open space in the back, but let the lips narrow. I.
I.
Good. Let's do that one more time. That was better. I.
Ai.
Lovely. Then an ah to an oo. Ow.
Au.
Good. Let's do that again. Try to keep the breath flowing through a little bit longer. Ow.
Au.
Beautiful. Let's try an A to an O now. Ayo.
Ao.
Good. Try breathing into that yawn space before you do it. Ayo.
Ao.
Good. Yeah. Now just try breathing into an ah shape before you say it. Ayo.
Ao. Do I have to get my
Good.
tongue?
Yeah.
It's
Good. I think breathing into the ah helps open everything up prior to the phrase. So let's keep that thought for now. All right, so let's try a few phrases now. These are just exercises first. So we're going to say ma, may, me, mo, moo. So this is going to be just moving through some vowels, but using the M first. So it's going to be a much more closed space through the mouth on the M, and then we have to open up to the vowel. So ma, may, me, mo, moo.
all in one breath.
Yes, all in one breath. Good question.
Ma, may, me, mo, moo.
Exactly. Yes. Now I want you to focus on keeping the breath flowing throughout. The M is one that we can energize through. So try to make them kind of sticky and keep that breath through. Ma, me, me, mo, moo, where they just kind of glide into one another like a slip and slide.
Ma, may, me, mo, moo.
Yes, beautiful. All right. Now we're going to do something that's going to feel a little bit different because we have a consonant that will stop the airflow next. So we're going to take the same vowels but put a B now. So we will say ba, bay, bee, bo, boo. And you'll feel this pop of air through that consonant. Try that.
Say it again.
Ba, bay, bee, bo, boo.
Ba, bay, bee, bo, boo.
Excellent. Yes. Do you feel the contrast with that pop of breath energy? The bee
Right.
briefly stops the airflow, but we are choosing to, it's going to pop right out the other side of it. So we keep it as flowing as possible. So try to focus on that airflow in your core, continuing through with that phrase like a water wheel. It never stops flowing. That air just keeps coming.
Ba,
Ba,
bay,
baby,
boo,
bo,
bo, boo.
boo. Yes, yeah. So focus on energizing through those vowels. Yeah, try that one more time.
Ba, bay, boo, bo, bay.
That's okay. You're good. You're good. You got the gist of it. Yeah. So it's I mean it's just an exercise. So if you get a little bit off, no problem. The important thing is the technique of it. So we're going to put in now a D instead of that B. So same vowels again, replacing that consonant. So it will be da, day, D, do, do, and you're going to feel this is a little more crisp. It's dental. It's very forward. So but the D is going to be a little more muted and dull sounding than the T, like ta, right? So da, um da, day, D, do, do.
Da, day, dee, do, do.
Yes, good. You can really hear that pop. So now let's focus on energizing through and keeping that through line with all those vowels. We're thinking of energizing through, almost like a sung speech. Da, day, dee, do, do.
Da, day, dee, do, do.
Excellent. Yes, the jaw stays more open and that palate with those vowels, and the tongue is doing most of the work there. Excellent. Now we'll do the same order of vowels, but this time with an L. So just little flicks of the tongue. You'll feel that little flick towards the front of your mouth with your tongue rising up and then flicking down. La, lay, lee, lo, loo.
La, lay, lee, lo, loo.
Excellent. Yes. So now think about breathing into that open ah space beforehand, staying very open with that jaw. La,
La,
lay,
lay,
li,
lee,
lo,
lo,
lu.
loo.
Yes. Now focus on really crisp, short, fast little flicks with that tongue and really energizing through that open vowel space. La, lay, li, lo, lu.
La, lay, lee, lo, loo.
Good. All right. So I do feel like the L's are right now, we're making a little too much of them. They sound a little like your tongue's a little thick or just moving a little slower. So try just going la 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 la.
La, 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 la.
Good. Now try la 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 la.
La, 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 la.
Excellent. Now la lay la lay la lay.
La, lay, la, lay, la, lay.
Good. Lay lee lay lee lay lee.
Layly, layly, layly.
All right, that one's a little bit trickier. Slow that down for me. Layly,
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 layly.
layly, layly,
Good.
layly,
A little faster. Layly,
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 layly.
layly, layly, layly.
Good. Now even faster. Layly, 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 layly.
Layly, 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 layly.
Yeah, so that's a good one to practice. All right, now let's try lee to low. Lee low, lee low, lee low, lee low.
Lilo, 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 lilo.
Yes. Now a little bit faster. Lilo, lilo, lilo.
Lilo, lilo, lilo.
And a little faster. Lilo, lilo, lilo.
Lilo, lilo, lilo.
Good. Now keep in mind, these vowel shapes are pretty different. So we do have to be changing shapes of the mouth pretty quickly. Now let's try low to loo. Low, loo, low, loo, low, loo.
Low, loo, low, loo, low, loo.
All right, good. It sounds a little bit like we're kind of chewing those vowels. Just try going oh, oh.
Low, loo, low, loo, low, loo.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so the O is just a little bit more open. The U just narrows a little bit. So O more open, then narrow your lip shape. Low, loo, low, loo, low, loo.
Low, loo, low, loo, low, loo.
All right. So those quick L's are something I want you to be working on this week. Let's try that whole phrase again. La, lay, lee, lo, loo.
La, lay, lee, low, loo.
Good. Now let's try leave late later.
Leave late, later, later.
Good. Um, look longer, Lawrence.
Look longer, Lawrence.
Good. All right. So now we're going to try that same phrase, but more flow to it. Look longer, Lawrence.
Look longer, Lawrence.
Good. Yes. Awesome. All right. So let's try a few speech focused phrases. We're focusing on clear. We're going to be slightly over articulated first, but then we're going to smooth it out with the flow. I asked for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Excellent. That's very clearly articulated. No mumbling. I know exactly what you're saying. It's beautifully articulated. So the work that we've put in the past is definitely showing. So now I would say the K is a little bit too emphasized and the P's as well. And maybe that L as well. So think about getting through those a little bit quicker and just muting those a little bit. I asked for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Yeah, I think that we can do even a little bit less crispness on that K still. I
I
asked.
asked. I asked.
Exactly. Yes, there we go. That has more of the flow that I think you're wanting and a little bit more conversational phrasing. I asked for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Good. I think that you can move a little bit more quickly through asked, asked for. Try just asked
Asked.
for, asked for,
Asked
asked
for.
for.
Asked for. Asked for.
It really is a mouthful. We've got the S, the K, the D, the F, the R. There are a
Yeah.
lot of consonants really quickly there.
I
So it's
asked.
the,
I asked for. Asked for. Asked. Can I
yeah,
do that?
right. Do you feel how the asked, the D is almost coming out like a
Asked.
T there? Asked, asked.
Asked.
And it
Yeah.
needs to be a little more dull. Asked, asked,
Asked.
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 Mm-hmm.
Asked. Asked.
Yes,
Asked.
yes. Asked
Asked.
for.
I asked. Asked. Oh, it's so difficult because the K has a pop.
It does.
So did, yeah, I asked.
So
Asked.
then your instinct is to make the D a T, but then it's
Yeah.
really overdone and it really pops in a way that pulls focus away from the full phrasing. I asked for the apple.
I asked. I asked for the apple. I
Yeah, so maybe
asked.
just taking a little bit more time in that
Asked.
moment. I asked for the apple.
Asked. I asked for the apple. I asked for the apple. I
Yeah,
asked.
and that will end up flowing more smoothly once you
Asked.
get that down. So try the de four, de four, de
De
four.
for. De for. Asked for.
Mm-hmm. And I know that we're
Asked
kind of
for.
exaggerating the D now to get the sound change. But then, like I said before, we'll kind of overshoot and then pull back. I asked
Stop.
for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Yeah, that was much better. Yes.
I asked
Good. Now
for
focus on the
the apple.
air flow through it. I asked for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Yes. So in that instance, we're wanting to focus more on these open vowels and the air consistently flowing through. I asked for the apple.
I asked for the apple.
Much better. Yes. Did you feel how that's a lot more open? It also gives us more
Yes.
resonance. It's going to have more of a rich quality in the vocal tone, and it will carry better as well. You'll
I
carry more
asked.
to the people throughout the room. They'll hear it better. Excellent. Good.
Got it.
Let's try another phrase. Exaggerating the speech and articulation first. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
Good. So that's that TS, the T and not, what, that T, and then said, right? Those are the ones that are really going to make it where it's choppy. And unfortunately, it's almost every word. It's every word but I. So that's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
Good. Can we make the T's a little bit more dentalized. So think of mixing them with a D. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
That was a lot better. Yes. So on that sounded a lot more muted, and what as well wasn't nearly as crisp. I think on not, because it's an emphasis word for this phrase, that's not what I said. I think that one can have more of a T, but the
Okay,
others I think can come down a little bit. And you did that this last time. Excellent. That's not what I said.
that's not what I said.
Excellent. Now let's focus on the airflow. So think about that flowing breath energy. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it's a little bit more slurpy slidey for the exercise. All right, now think about really opening your mouth. Breathe into the off first. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
That was my favorite so far. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, let's try this phrase. Open your mouth when you speak.
Open your mouth when you speak.
Good. On your, you kind of went you kept it more closed. Open your mouth more. Your.
Your, your.
Yes. Excellent. Yes. Open your mouth when you speak.
Open your mouth when you speak.
Yes. Every vowel we want really open here. So now let's think about the flow a little bit more. Breathe into the open ah and flow through. Open your mouth when you speak.
Open your mouth when you speak.
Okay, so we are pausing after mouth. Can we continue there? Open your
Open your
mouth when
mouth
you
when
speak.
you speak.
I think it's because it's the W, and in the past, we've really focused on getting those W's very clear, the rounded shape. Wah. Let's try the TH into that W. Thwa, thwa. You can just
Thwa,
glide through.
thwa,
Thwa, thwa,
thwa.
thwa.
Open your mouth when you speak.
Okay, I see. So it's the TH, I think, that's actually hanging us up. Think of it almost as though the W is a vowel following the TH. Thwa, thwa,
Thwa.
thwa.
Open your mouth thwa, when you speak. Open your
Exactly.
mouth when you speak.
Hmm.
Open your mouth when you speak.
Let's say thorough.
Throw,
Then let's
throw.
try thought,
Thought,
those,
those.
think,
Think,
thwa.
thwa. Sorry, Vandy, hard stop.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was really
No
focused.
worries.
You actually made some really good progress there, and I took some good notes. So we're going to shift our focus a little bit. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, Robin. Have